Hello, this is Cuckoo. Is it possible that your sample library is lacking a certain element of pure analog dirt? Well, today might be a lucky day because I'm announcing a new sample pack that I just made, and I made it primarily with these two machines. This is the analog rhythm from Electron, their flagship analog drum machine. It sounds really good, and in this pack I recorded the analog side of it, and especially thumping, cracking bass drums and kick drums, and trying to go deep and deep, even down into sub territory. So very, very saturated recordings, and I'm also going up into the metallic sounds and stuff. But primarily, I'm trying to be like really, really saturated with this pack. I've taken that raw recording and run it through the analog heat. This is Electron's analog distortion saturation machine, and I've tried to be really creative with how to treat these recordings, and to have a rich flavor and a rich variety of sounds, like really crushing sounds, or just very warm and bassy sounds, or just destroyed sounds altogether. And I'm going to give you both of the recordings, the raw recordings straight from the analog rhythm, and they're a bit saturated, and then the raw recordings coming from that recording through this, and then you can mix and match. And also a third library with the same sounds but slightly mastered to kind of balance the sounds out a bit, because some of you might be more interested in the raw analog recordings, and then you got that in the pack. But well, maybe the majority of you might be more interested in something that just sounds great straight ahead. So I've taken some of the saturation out in the mastered files, and also I made like mastered files for the OPZ and for the OP1, and it's stereo files. Actually, it is interesting because this is a stereo effect, so some of the sounds get like a stereo flavor when you run them through an effect like this, which is really, really cool. So for your Octatrack users, if you really enjoy that stereo aspect, you can use it. But also there is a mono library in there as well. Well, let me show you what it sounds like, and maybe you like it. If you like it, you can be one of my patrons. So all of my monthly patrons, you get access to this pack, as you know. Thank you for being my patrons. It means a lot to me. But if you just want this pack and nothing else from me, you can head to my web store and purchase the pack over there. Okay, let me show you what it sounds like. It sounds bonkers. Let's go. All right, so here we go. This is the actual pack, all of the files. We've got 10 folders neatly organized, if I must say so myself. Folder number 1, Analog Purist. That's the raw analog rhythm recordings. I organized them actually by the engine or the machine that they're using. So BD Classic, lots of bass drum sounds there. Yeah, and then we've got BD FM, kind of hardcore saturated sounds. Many of these sounds are like just really good bass drums and kick drums, while some of them are more saturated and more like alternatively percussive. Got BT Classic, that classic bass drum from bass tom from Electron, very recognizable. Ooh, yeah, very, very warm. And some of them are tuned like that, so you can just place them on a keyboard or something. Got claps, cymbals. We've got dual VCO, more tones in here. The impulse is actually just a short little impulse sent into the filter. So this is the sound of the filter. Very clean, and something so serene about it. Sounds very beautiful. The Rimshot Classic in tonal style. I think it's a cool bass sound. SD Classic, SD FM, we've got SD Hard, And all of these sounds, we can see that there's over 1,000 samples. And all of these sounds, I recorded them again through the analog heat, and being a bit more creative there to add variations and grittiness, and sometimes more presence, sometimes more like in your face, sometimes just cranking up the bass EQ, and just making a lot of variations. So that is like a live tweak. Stuff that I enjoy to do. And some of them are subtle, some of them are like really dirty. These are straight from the machines. This file is the mastered version. So I took the wacky recordings and mastered them and tried to just manage the sounds and make it not poke out so much. That's the pack. That's like the majority of the pack. But I thought like, hey, maybe I should just include the mono library as well. So we got these files just made into mono. Here I tried to make a folder with my favorite sounds, but I couldn't limit myself. So this is 400 sounds. But as you can see here by the file names, some of them are the mastered files, while some of them are straight dirty from the heat, and some of them are the analog straight from the rhythm. So it's a mix where I think sometimes it makes sense to have a sound that is coming straight from the analog rhythm, like the hi-hat sounds, for instance. They could be a bit too crazy when you crunch them and master them, and they sound much more gentle when coming straight from the analog rhythm. And then what I've done is that I've taken many of these sounds, put them into a slice grid for the Octatrack. So the Octatrack with weird pitches. Yeah. Or just like a hi-hat, 32 slices of hi-hats. Or kicks. It could be very useful. Just plop them in there, and you can see by the file name here, 32, 16, 24. That's the number of slices. So you put them into your Octatrack, you press the create slice grid, and choose the same number as in the file name. I've already done this, so I should just copy the slice data from the Octatrack. Yeah, let me do that. Then we got OPZ, OP1, and OP1 field. The OPZ and OP1 share the same file format, but the OP1, they have a slightly different gain stage, so I made some differences on the OP1 drum kit, especially, and also added effects ready to be turned on onto some of the synth sounds. The OP1 field has a stereo sound in the synth, and also many of the sounds are rigged with that beautiful mother reverb, for instance. Yeah, so this is the actual pack. 1,085 sounds there, 1,085. So there's a bunch of different sounds to choose from, and if you have the OP series, then yeah, it's ready to go. Yeah, so let me play some music for you. I think I'm going to start with the OPZ and then work my way through a couple of machines and just give you a flavor of what you can do with this pack and what it can sound like. Let's go. Okay, so here on the kick track and the hi-hat, we got these cool sounds. More like a variated kit and a second one. So I made this little track. Let's play it. Okay. 1 and 2. Yeah. Yeah, so it could sound like that, and I've actually filled it up to the maximum with my synth sounds, so 40 different synth sounds. But sometimes it's small variations. And here we got 10 more. This is probably my favorite. Yeah, it sounds nice. Yeah, how about here? And remember, they all come from a drum machine, so the nature of them are a little on the percussive side, so that's why they're all kind of snappy. But I think a drum machine is also a very nice source for melodic content. Yeah, all right, let's try the next one. How about the OP1 OG, the original? So on the OP1 original, we got the same sounds as on the OPZ because they share the same sample format. And some of the sounds, I've actually set up effects, but they're turned off. But you can just go in there and turn them on. Oh yeah, this is nice. And if it's distorting, well, turn down the volume. Yeah. There's the OP1 field. This has stereo samples, and it can also hold longer samples. So it's a new file format for samples. So I made specific sounds here. They come from the same source, so they sound very similar. But I think we can hear the differences both in the much higher end quality in terms of the sound engines here. It's 32-bit and much more precise in many respects, and also dramatic improvement in noise. There's practically no hiss or noise in this, whereas on this one it was a little bit noisy. So let's see the same sounds here, and you can hear some of that stereo coming from the mother filter. Epic bass. And if it's too much reverb, just turn it off. Or mix it down. And now in the new update on the OP1 field, it also has velocity. Let's turn it on. You can have soft or hard velocity. I think this changes the game completely in how you can play on the actual... Yeah, it's really crazy how they pulled it off. It's actually the accelerometer or gyroscope or whatever it is that is so high resolution and has such a fast sample rate, so it detects it detects the vibrations at a very high precision. Yeah, and it's actually very playable. in some cases, you don't want it, you turn it off. Oh yeah, I forgot the drums. Yeah, the drums. They sound like this. Kick drums for you. How about this? Okay, this is more of a mixed kit. How about making it endless? All right. Yeah. So I made a little song here. Let's listen to what it sounds like. Start out from the bottom and up. See what we have. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Jump ahead. Yeah, the open one field, it sounds dramatically better, but that's to be expected when they put so many resources and it's expensive. So it sounds very good. I like this the sound coming out of this. So that's the open one field. Let's put it over there and let's take another one here. Let's see which one. The Octatrack. How about the Octatrack? Yeah, let's do that. This nice layout. I don't know. It's like Tetris. Yeah, so here is the track I made with the Octatrack. Hi-hats. Some rhythms coming in. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. The Octatrack. You can do all sorts of stuff, and you got all of those sounds. Plop them in here. Many of them have a subtle stereo sound. So yeah, let's go. And the last machine I would like to show you is on the Digitakt, one of my favorite sample composer machines, performance machines. I think it's something so lovely about the Digitakt, and it's really actually hard to put your finger on. Like, I've got an Octatrack right here. Why would I ever choose the supposedly less powerful? Because the workflow on the Octatrack is very, very different, and the outcome is extremely different. It doesn't sound like the Octatrack at all. There is nothing that sounds like the Octatrack on the Digitakt. It sounds like itself, and this sounds like itself. And this, I think, is a more inspiring place to create sounds and music, whereas this is more powerful platform to put together a really good composition in the end. I'm not sure how to put it, but yeah, listen to this. This sounds very, very different. So let's see what we got here. And what here? Yeah, you can hear a clap with a bass, and just a crazy amount of bass and fluff. Hi-hat, bass, kick drum. I don't know. Yeah, so I made this little pattern here. Let's see. How about this? This is the power of the Digitakt. Yeah, the Digitakt really holding its own. I think this is one of my favorite sample player platforms of all time. Just because you start out with something and you end up with this. This is so far beyond what I could imagine when I put the samples in the first place. And then you just keep working and working, and suddenly it just blooms into this. Yeah. And one of my original objectives with making this pack was to go deeper into the sub and bass territory, because I felt like previously many of my packs kind of lacked that aspect. And so I wanted to broaden the palette and go into these distorted bass territories. Yeah. So there you have it. You can use these samples in any production, any in Ableton Live, and anything that can handle samples. And I hope you can create something unexpectedly amazing that you didn't think you could do. And also, please give me a little message and show me what you made with this pack. I'm always really hyped to see what people make with my packs. It makes me so happy to see it being used in ways that I didn't think about, or just, yeah, generally hearing some new music is super cool. Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out while presenting this pack. Please head over to my web store if all you want is this pack, and also if you want to support me on a monthly basis as my patron, head over there, check it out, see if it's for you. And sometimes I post videos only for my patrons, and also sometimes a little download ahead of time, or sometimes we chat a little bit in the Discord forum. And yeah, if you want to support my work, head over to my Patreon. It's open for you. Yeah. Even you, yeah, and you too. I saw you considering inside of you that, even open for you. Everyone is welcome. So that concludes my presentation of this new pack, Dirty Purist, created from the analog rhythm and the analog heat. And there you go. I hope you find some inspiration in it. Create something really bonkers. Surprise me. Let me know what you create with it if you want to, and I'll check it out and be blown away by your creativity. Cool, cool, cool. See you soon again, and peace out.